Hey guys, this is Christine Lee. Just wanted to touch base with you because I had this idea. I just wanted to get out to you guys. It was a little bit long-winded to put on email, so I figured, hey, why not video mail, because we can squeeze so much more in and I don't have to actually type it out. So anyways, here's the idea. What do you think about a national level short sale processing solution for banks out there in terms of just being the most efficient, slick, effective, and just quick, just practical system out there for both consumers and realtors, okay? I'm talking a system so efficient that once all the documents are uploaded, you can be underwritten in like 3 days, an approval comes out, and bang, you're on your way, and it's like heavenly. It's the way it should be. There's no freaking reason why it should be taking so long. But let me kind of get into a little bit of the detail. Okay, so in terms of how it would all start, I think there could be a system where it's initiated by the realtor or the consumer, and they can upload all their documents, just like, in Equator, and everything would be systematized in all the categories and made really easy. I mean, to start out with, you make it so you help them out, not make your life miserable. So in terms of all the documentation, you have samples of the forms, you have the downloadable forms, you even have a video tutorial on what to do and what not to do, and it covers all the, 10 documents or whatever it may be on there, so you're really dummying proof these documents. Next, once they upload it, I think another part that would be absolutely wonderful is to have them actually pay a fee to have the short sale underwritten. And you disclose all the risks, and there's no guarantee, but at the end of the day, what that's going to do is not only hedge some of the risk for carrying out this process, but also when people put money where their mouth is and they're really motivated to do so, they're going to get it right. So it's also going to be more of a quality check, a motivation check on the documents that are going to be submitted, because they're obviously not going to pay like $300 to $500 to put out crap documents that don't meet the criteria. They're really going to double check it and make sure that everything's up to snuff before they submit it, because they don't want to lose their money. So it's, put your money where your mouth is, and I bet it's going to make life a lot easier for the underwriters. And I say underwriters because that's what this whole thing is, right? I mean, you can say loss mitigators, this and that, but it's essentially going through the same process as a normal mortgage underwriting, except you're underwriting for loans that you're taking a loss on. So kind of a little bit backwards, but the same process, because the documents are all similar. I mean, you got tax returns, W-2 stub, bank statements, assets, whatever, tax returns, I already said that. But the documents are all the same, and you got a couple extra, 3 or 4 extra in there, but for the most part, it's extremely similar, and the way they look at it, the way they scrutinize, the dollars, monies, financials, I mean, it's kind of the same mindset. You can take underwriters and just plop it right in there, and then boom, they're like loss mitigators. So, aside from, in addition to that, you would have part 2 of it. And here's the part that I think is really going to be different, unique, and strong, but yet simple, is the valuation part. I mean, how hung up do we get with crappy BPOs, bad values, and that pretty much throws everything off. I mean, that throws off the approval, that throws off, the discount that they take off of that. I mean, it throws off everything. It literally kills the deal. So why don't we spend a little bit more time on that and really secure the value part of the short sale process? And there is a simple solution. Because of my appraisal background, I know that there is a whole slew, a network of highly qualified appraisers that you can tap into immediately. So from a logistical perspective, I mean, it's a breeze. Okay, let me tell you what it is. It's the SRA designation from the Appraisal Institute. Now, before they let every, buddy and their brother become an appraiser, and as long as you're state licensed, you can, run your own show, back in the day, they used to require that SRAs had to be almost like the broker of a shop. I mean, you had to be under an SRA, and that really kept the quality in check, because those designations were not gimme designations. Those were, you had to work your ass off, so the people who had it didn't feel like losing it over something retarded. So really, it kept a lot of the, dummy dum-dums that are floating out there in check, or they were not, part of that firm. So go back to that, and yes, an appraisal is going to cost a little bit more, but that's where the initial fee comes in, because that's there to cover, costs like the appraisal or even the initial underwriting. And, in the sum of $300 to $500, a motivated seller or buyer is going to be willing to pay for it because they certainly see the value of it because they're going to get a good deal on their home, or somebody else doesn't want to be foreclosed on their home, and especially if they quit making payments anyways, I'm sure they can fork over $500, which is less than 1 month's rent, to get this process going. So the costs are hedged, and some of the overhead is hedged as well in that whole upfront payment process. Part 3, of course, everything would be automated once all the documents are submitted. Imagine if you had everything in a quality sort of way that is induced by the upfront payment and all that, how much smoother would underwriting be? I mean, you would be able to turn around in 2 to 3 days legit underwriting decisions based on the bank's criteria and a value and an appraisal that has already been submitted. That's part of the submission documents. You can let the consumer themselves initiate the appraisal based on an approved list that's pulling from the SRA list from the Appraisal Institute, and you can have a back-end system where the appraiser can actually upload it for a little bit more quality check. But again, it can be initiated by the consumer and submitted by the appraiser, and once that is all done, then it'll be flagged as complete, and the underwriters can underwrite a complete paperless file. Beautiful. And then they'll be able to truly make a decision just like they would in any other normal mortgage underwriting, a complete package, and be able to pump that out in 3 days. You have never even heard, I mean, right now nobody's ever even heard of a system that can pump out underwriting decision in 3 days with a complete file. Well, that's because they're not thinking, solution oriented. They're not thinking of how it can be done. And what I'm saying is, this is how it can be done. The last half of that, or last portion of that, is, once it's completely underwritten, then you automatically send out the letter of approval. And, as you have stated in your Power Hour, there's some approvals that come out 3 days after underwriting. Right, like that's going to happen. But in the system, you wouldn't have any of those nonsenses because that's not part of our system. Our system here is to make sure everything gets done efficiently and practically. So it's almost like a short sale underwriting system for banks made by realtors for realtors. So just like MyRedTools is by KW for KW, that type of thing. So anyways, that's kind of everything in a nutshell, and imagine if you can take this nationally. I mean, what kind of system out there would even compete with this type of concept? I mean, a system that's made for both small, medium, and large banks, and a system that's just so practical, efficient, works with the bank's numbers. You can, regain the confidence of the numbers you would be dealing with because the market is the market, right? And then they can plug in whatever criteria they want in terms of the loss that they want to take based on the number of days out, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, they have those criteria, but at the end of the day, the percentage loss that they're willing to take is usually pretty good. What really screws it up is the appraisal or slash BPO, the value that they establish on it. So again, we've cleared out that issue, and so everything else is really going to fall in place, and we're going to have a beautiful package together if this, comes all together. And just, pitch it to the banks. I mean, value proposition out there. Get your short sale process streamlined through this system that just gets the job done in a practical way, gives you real values, and your real money, or I guess not getting a house back. So, and this can then be expanded, I think, into some other cool programs, especially if there's some banks that want to be proactive out there, or there's even consumers that just want to initiate the short sale. They're not waiting on a realtor. You really get the word out there, then the whole public can really engage themselves in what needs to be done, and, if you almost quasied it, piggybacked it with just a short sale resource type of thing, I mean, it can really build some momentum. It can be like the resource for short sales. Anybody puts in a short sale, what the hell is it? Well, how can it help me? I mean, have a whole resource of information out there for the public. I mean, it's kind of cool. There's nothing like that out there. So anyways, I just want to share that thought with you. Anyways, give me a shout. Let me know what you think. I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey, just want to clarify on a couple points just in case I strayed out there a little bit too much. Just want to refocus and say what this whole system is a national solution for underwriting short sales on a national level for all types of banks. So we would be the go-to person to make sure that short sales are done, and the top resource out there for both consumers, realtors, and banks alike. So it can be a real kick-ass system that's more efficient than anything they've seen out there right now. So we'd be kicking some major butt. Also, I wanted to clarify that this is also all web-based, which is the beauty of it, in case you didn't catch on. And also, lastly, just letting you know that this whole system design is like all planned out in my head because I'm such a nerd. I've already program my own contact management system that's tied into lead gen and produces reports, logins, uploads, all that functionality. Totally familiar with. And in terms of the design, it would be a piece of cake between me and Coach, who's a CS major. We got it covered, so don't even worry about it. The beauty of it is that it's so simple and just beautiful. That's it. All right. Bye.